I believe there is some secret dealing happening between EU and Trump. EU said, we will fund your war machine, we will fund your MIC. And Trump said, fine, I will bark at Russia again. Hello and welcome to Global News Factory. I'm your host Vikrant. So here we are. Trump, the self-proclaimed deal guy who once bragged he would end the war, the Ukraine war, in 24 hours, is now playing Santa Claus to Zelenskyy. Patriot missiles, sweet words, and apologies. Yes, the man who promised to halt military aid is now delivering US weapons with a cherry on top.
We want to put defensive weapons because Putin is not treating human beings right. He's killing too many people. So we're sending some defensive weapons to Ukraine, and I've approved that.
Trump declared, we get a lot of bullshit thrown at us by Putin. If you want to know the truth, he is very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless. That is a direct jab at Vladimir Putin. And then this. Trump also reassured Zelenskyy that he was not responsible. Trump himself was not responsible for any delay in arms shipments. Oh, we thought Trump is the president, he is the man behind the wheel. And just look at the pattern here. With that sort of apology, he actually pulled off a Biden. In June last year, Biden pulled the same move. He also had issued an apology to Zelenskyy for delaying aid. Trump, who once mocked Biden for groveling, is now doing a perfect impression of him. This tells us maybe, just maybe, there is some power which prevails no matter who tries to pretend to run the White House. And then we come to the leaked audio. What a timing, man. Whoever leaked this audio, you deserve a salute. In that leaked audio from a private fundraiser last year, this is what Trump told donors, allegedly.
Putin, I said, if you go in to Ukraine, they'll bomb out of Moscow. I'm telling you, I have no choice. The public wants it. The public. So he goes like, I don't believe you. He said, no way. And I said, wait. And then he goes like, I don't believe you. But the truth is, he believed me 10%.
Putin goes like, I don't believe you, but he believed me 10%. 10%, what a joke. This is Trump basically role-playing as a tough guy. But even he knows Putin was not buying it. It is also suspicious that this audio conveniently leaked now, when tensions are rising and Trump is trying to prove that he is not soft on Russia. What a timing, man. And then comes the cherry bomb. Trump is now openly eyeing the Russia sanctions bill. Yes, the same one his allies call the economic nuke or the economic bunker buster. It includes 500% tariffs on Russia and its trading partners. Essentially the entire global south. China, India.
Do you want to sanction him? Lindsey Graham has a sanctions bill on Russia. Do you want him to move
I'm
that
looking
down?
at it, yeah, no, I'm looking. The Senate is passing and passed a very, very tough sanctions, but yeah, I'm looking at
Can
it.
you sign that?
It's
Brilliant. Blow up the world economy and expect Putin to flinch. But here is spoiler, he would not. Trump seems possessed by the ghost of the military-industrial complex, the MIC. After all, what happened at the NATO summit? This is my theory. I believe there is some secret dealing happening between EU and Trump. The European vassal states, they pledged 5% of their GDP to defense in that summit. That is not defense, that is legalized extortion racket. Extortion from innocent European citizens. You scratch our back, we stuff your Pentagon pockets. That is the deal between US and Europe. That is the unspoken deal. EU said, we will fund your war machine, we will fund your MIC. And Trump said, fine, I will bark at Russia again. Result. Putin this week showed to Trump who the real boss is. Trump was beating the war drums all along. Putin ran out of patience. Russia sent a very real, very loud message straight to Kiev. Hundreds of Russian drones swarmed Kiev overnight in what looked like a completely new military tactic. Not just from one direction, not in small waves, this was a full scale encirclement, an assault from every possible side. Zelenskyy himself said Russia launched 400 drones and 18 missiles, including 8 ballistic and 6 cruise missiles. Kyiv's air defenses? Overwhelmed. The message? Crystal clear that we are not done, not even close. This was not a random barrage, it was strategic, precise, and brutal, unlike previous strikes where drones came in staggered patterns. This time, Russia hit Kiev all at once, blanketing the sky and punching holes in whatever was left of Ukraine's defenses. While Trump was talking about pressure and posture, Putin delivered fireworks in the Ukrainian capital. So much for Patriot missiles, Mr. Trump. So much for tough talk. Russia did not blink, it bombed. And the ones paying the price, once again, poor people of Ukraine. Not Trump, not Ursula von der Leyen, not motivational speaker Mark Rutte, just regular people caught in a war prolonged by political theater. To end this war, the US will have to take Russia's demands into consideration. Why? Simply because Ukraine does not have any cards. Trump himself said that. Russia's Sergei Lavrov said any real deal must include number 1, no NATO membership for Ukraine. Number 2, demilitarize Ukraine so that West cannot use it against Russia ever. Number 3, protection of Russian-speaking population. And number 4, acknowledgement of border changes. And last, sanctions lifted and Russian assets unfrozen. No ifs, no buts. Now, you decide, my dear viewers, are these demands reasonable or not? Please comment right now in the comment box. I read all of your remarks in the comment sections. Please do. Please tell me. Okay, please help me understand if these demands put out by Russia are valid or not, are reasonable or not. That is the deal on the table right now. And if the US refuses to acknowledge it, this war drags on with Ukraine as the cannon fodder. But Trump does not want the truth. Instead, he's already shifting gears, now attacking India and China, imposing tariffs, hosting India's enemies. By enemy, I mean Pakistan's army chief. And Trump looks like he's running out of targets. Why? Because Trump has realized the US has no leverage left against Russia. Not militarily, not economically, not certainly diplomatically. The man is spiraling. One day he is promising peace. The next day he is there. He's threatening Moscow. Then he is praising Zelenskyy. Then he is blaming Putin. It is like watching a man juggle grenades. And Ukraine is the one getting blown up. This is not management. It is chaos in a suit. We're talking about BRICS a lot nowadays. Let's talk about Brazil now, because Brazil just hosted the BRICS summit and orange-haired Trump lost his mind. Why? Because every time the BRICS bloc takes a step forward, Washington throws a tantrum. This time they've dressed it up as tariffs. But the real reason, BRICS is growing and it scares the hell out of Uncle Sam. That is the truth. Trump is now slapping Brazil with 50% tariffs. Earlier, we saw how Trump threatened Russia, India, China with 500% tariffs. Now we are seeing Brazil facing 50% tariffs effective August 1st. Why, you ask? Because Brazil is going after Jair Bolsonaro, the former president. Trump says he is concerned about Bolsonaro's legal troubles. The same Bolsonaro who is accused of plotting a coup, trying to poison President Lula, and conspiring to overturn Brazil's democracy. There are these allegations, but still these are just allegations, and the court process is going on. But my point here is, I don't want to get into this debate. This question is not about Bolsonaro, it is about BRICS. The US and its Western cheerleaders are now going after every BRICS nation one by one, brick by brick. You think it's a coincidence? Russia is being choked using Ukraine as a proxy. China is under fire via Taiwan, chips, and tariffs. India is being baited with Pakistan-Turkey provocations. Iran is being boxed in with nuclear hoaxes and airstrikes. And now Brazil. Can you see a pattern, my dear viewers? Can you see this pattern? Brazil is now being punished via tariffs and political blackmail. Trump has joined this war on BRICS club in full force. And here is the kicker. Trump does not even trust his own so-called allies. He does not care about Bolsonaro. That is the truth. Trump does not care about Bolsonaro. He does not care about democracy. He only cares about one thing: power. This is not about ideology. Now, if Bolsonaro were still in office today, Trump would have still imposed tariffs. Why? Because Brazil is strong, because Brazil is growing, because Brazil is not begging Washington for favors. This is a BRICS nation flexing its muscles, and Trump cannot stand that. But Lula did not take it lying down. The Brazilian leader gave Trump a tight diplomatic slap. Here is what he said in response. Brazil is a sovereign country with independent institutions, and it will not take orders from anyone. We will not take order from Washington. Boom. And he promised retaliation. Brazil will respond with reciprocity, he said. Translation: you slap us with tariffs, we slap you right back. The best part, Lula did not even make this about politics, he made this about sovereignty. Because that is exactly what is at stake here. This is not Lula versus Bolsonaro, this is not left versus right, this is US hegemony versus national dignity. And right now, Brazil is refusing to bow. Trump wants to bully the world into submission, but that game is over. BRICS is standing tall. It is driving the empire nuts. And thanks for staying with me. You're watching GNF.